Good evening, our good viewers, wherever you are watching from, whether in the diaspora or within Uganda. We thank you for making NTV your #1 station in Uganda. And we also thank you for making NTV People's Parliament your favorite program. It is the only program that gives Ugandans a platform to speak about government policies, about our communities, and issues that affect our communities countrywide. This parliament is chaired by none other than your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. It is yet another Saturday where we sit somewhere and discuss issues that affect the place. And we are still in Bududa district. We are going to talk about a very important issue that affects the people of Bududa at large. It is about Bududa Naweya Gravity Flow Scheme. It is a 22 billion project that was provided by government to ensure that the people of Bududa access clean water and access water in a nearby place. For your own information, we are a mountainous district. And for a person to get water, you have to move down, up from the mountain to down, very many kilometers to ensure that you get water. But with this project, everybody will access water wherever they are. We are told there are challenges, and we have leaders here who are going to explain. Before we get the ball rolling, honorable members, I thank you for being part of this parliament. This is a very important project that affects you and me, that benefits you and me, the Bududa Naweya Gravity Flow Scheme. We thank government for giving us this project. It's going to save our communities very, very much in terms of clean water. But before we get the ball rolling, I would invite the project manager to give us the preamble. How far is the project?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, the district leaders, protocol observed. My name is again Engineer Stanley Watenga. I'm Principal Engineer in the Ministry of Water and Environment.
Engineer Watenga is the son of the soil, right?
Son of the soil, yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
I'm also doubling as the project manager for this project. I have been at the helm of it from the inception of this project. I think the idea came more than 15 years ago, but we were only able to realize this project to start about 5 years ago. We have been in partnership from the inception of the project along with the district leadership, as they will testify to this. And we feel glad, really feel glad that we are closing in to the end with lots of challenges, but also big successes which have been made.
Okay.
Honorable Madam Speaker, the project is Government of Uganda funded, assisted by African Development Bank. It is a central government project. I have to emphasize this because also the local government here, the central government is also providing resources to do certain projects. But this is central government from the Ministry of Water and Environment. The project is being done executed in 3 phases. The first phase, which costs about 17 billion, started in 2013 and was being executed by a firm called Call. And it had its, it formally ended in 2017 December. That was the end of the contractual period, but I'll explain a little bit more about this. Now, the second phase costs about 5.6 billion. It is implemented by a firm called Gates Technical Services. It began also in 2017 January, and it ended in 2018 January. But this ends, I'll have to explain a little bit, Madam Speaker, because there are things which are of a contractual nature, but which I have to be soft enough to explain.
In summary.
Yeah, true. Then the third phase, which is yet to be executed, is a small one of 1.4 billion, and it's going to begin in about a couple of weeks' time from now. And we expect that it will take just probably 6 months. Now, the status now, where are we? Phase 1 of the project. First of all, maybe, Madam Speaker, let me talk about the coverage. The project is intended to cover the sub-counties of Bushii, Bulucheke, Naweya, Buchigai, Bushiribo, Bududa, and Bududa Town Council. That's the area that the project was intended to cover. And also in terms of size, we projected about 30 years ahead. In other words, the population that we are serving, what we intend to serve by then is 120,000. Of course, currently, we are fewer than that we are serving, but the project has capacity to serve over those 30 years to a population of about 120,000. Now, so far, physical progress, for phase 1, we are at about 95% complete. Why do I say this? Because much of the headworks, that is the intake, which is up in the forest reserve, the water treatment plant, much of the pipeline, which is about 90 kilometers throughout the supply area, is complete. We have also 9 storage tanks. Those are also erected. We are targeting to have 2,000 household connections. That's, you have water in the house, in the yard, sorry, 200? Not in the house. 2,000. We are targeting to have 2,000. But Madam Speaker, allow me to emphasize this, that the system has capacity to connect up to 20,000 homes, okay, in other words, connections. But as of now, we are targeting 2,000, and I will say as at now, we have achieved about 1,000, slightly over 1,000 who are connected. But we have a policy where consumers also pay a token fee of 50,000 in order to get water to the household.
Cost sharing.
Yes, cost sharing. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, 50,000 is against the full cost, which is about 500,000 if we consider connecting. It depends how far you are off from the main. From the main, I mean the main work, the main pipeline. But we average it about 500,000, including the cost of a meter. But government is meeting the rest of the cost, and therefore the households are only being requested to pay 50,000.
Okay.
Now, the idea here is to promote more people to be connected on the system, as opposed to where we have been going to fetch to a common point. That has been the policy before. But we are modernizing, and in the process, we want water in the yard. But also, we are encouraging, of course, that if you have water in the yard, then at your own cost, you can also have it in-house. When you have it in-house, you can have water showers, you can have waterborne toilets. That's the direction where the ministry is going, Madam Speaker.
So in this metering, the beneficiaries have to pay for the water?
The beneficiaries, they make a contribution to the initial connection.
For 50,000?
50,000 against 500,000. But
does they continue to use the water? Yes,
Madam Speaker, because the connection is metered, and that's a new government policy. The connection is metered, so you pay, you pay for what you use.
Okay. Now, Honorable Member, so the project is moving on well?
With some constraints, but with some achievements too.
With some achievements. What are those constraints?
Okay, Madam Speaker, the fact that we are introducing a new concept in the rural areas. Traditionally, there has not been metered water. I should say this.
So there are challenges of contribution.
There are challenges of contribution.
Of contribution, yes. Yeah. Thank you for the information.
Can I say a little bit more, Madam Speaker?
Sorry?
Also, of course, we have had to operate in difficult terrain. Yeah, and we also have to extend the service, even to people who initially were skeptical. There are people who thought that maybe this is not a true story.
Okay.
But with time, they have bought into. And we are also again excited that many more are paying because they are hearing of this service. So actually what we are grappling with now is to cope with the demand of meeting all the people who have expressed the demand.
Okay.
But as I've said, Madam Speaker, finally, the maximum capacity of the system is 20,000. So we are going to continue to connect even over the 30 years.
People will continue to be.
Yes, just like the way it is in town.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chairman.
As a district, first of all, we must appreciate the government for providing us this system, gravity flow water system. Of course, the historic part of it is that in 2003, there was an idea which came out when we were still in Mbale as a district. And with a team of some technical people, my district engineer Isa, by then he was the water officer. There was a lot of pushing, where should this gravity go? But because I had my engineer as water officer in the district,
It came to Bududa.
It came to Bududa and also to Manafa. So we started on the program together with him. We secured money for survey and the design by that time. And the design of that time was about 2.3 billion shillings around that time. That was 203. But then, by that time, government had no money. It kept on promising until, I think, 2013, when the government secured money to now implement. And
now we are somewhere as per the project manager?
Yes. Now,
we have moved.
Exactly. As we speak now, the project is in its final stages.
Yes.
And many things are being done. But of course, we have all challenges in some of those issues. There was a stagnation in the period of 2013 to 2015. By the time I came to office in 2016, they had only done the biggest job they had done was the intake and the laying of pipes. And yet the biggest component in the whole system was the treatment plant. So we fixed up, we moved up, we started mobilizing people, we started pushing people, and the treatment plant was done. And then we came down now on the distribution part of it. As we speak, the distribution part of it is being done. Some areas have started receiving water, some areas have not yet received water. The issues are specifically one, that there are areas which were not originally in the designed plan, but they want water. So we are now struggling to ensure that they bring them into the plan. Two, people have already contributed, but they haven't received the water as yet.
Those who have contributed?
Yes. So far, according to my own information, which I've picked, we have about 1,600 people who have contributed.
How many?
1,600 who have contributed the 50,000 connection fee. Currently, we are at a connection of about 1,100 connections at the moment.
Those are already getting water?
We are already who are connected, but partly getting water and partly not yet accessing to water. But they are connected. Taps are their doors.
Okay.
Pending the release of water. Now, the challenge we are getting is again the money collected. We have been bothering the contractor, until recently we started receiving information that while we are talking about a collection of about 80 million shillings on the collection account of the connection fee, the actual money is about 50 million, leaving out about over 30 million shillings, which is not accounted for.
Okay.
So the issue here is that as we push the contractor to finalize, is also saying, but
bring the 50,000.
The qualification of a person to be connected is 50,000. Where is the 50,000? So we are getting those challenges as leaders. Where do we balance? And you'll realize that as leadership, we have swung into action, and many people are making noise.
Okay.
But we are trying to recover the 50,000 shillings in order to be able to connect the person who paid the water.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. The two people have given us a very, very good preamble. And despite all these challenges, the project is moving on well. And I'm sure the project manager says by December, things would be okay. Let's go for a short break. And when we come back, we are going to hear more from the beneficiaries of Bududa Nagoya Gravity Flow Scheme. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching your favorite program, NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Bududa District, discussing about a very important subject, the project of Bududa Nagoya Gravity Flow Scheme, something that will benefit the people of Bududa. The project is moving on well, but I want to hear from the beneficiaries now.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Miriam Masaya. As the chairman said, that we contributed 50,000. I also contributed, but I have a receipt at home. Now they are saying those people whom they send to mobilize people or to check the bills, they are saying that I add 30,000 so to bring the water to my home. So
you have paid the 50,000?
Yes.
They want you to add 30,000?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm Abbas Namhono, a resident, and I'm the beneficiary of the gravity flow water. Madam Speaker, I'm happy with the project. I'm surrounded with a number of neighbors who are not beneficiaries of the project. And I happen to be their area LC1 chairperson. The problem with them is that because they are not interested. But the whole problem is affordability. Madam Speaker, in my area, it is a situation where you find a family hardly raising even 10,000 in a month.
So 50,000 is being a problem.
It is really a problem. And even, Madam Speaker, this project was intended to benefit the residents of Nabuea, who were the major targets. But because of the same problem of affordability, I'm sure it is even less than 10% who are benefiting. It is my humble appeal to all the stakeholders concerned to review this issue so that water can benefit over 60% at least.
Okay.
Thank you.
The challenge that we are getting through Nabuea gravity water flow, we are getting through our politicians, because people have failed to differentiate between the government's program and the public offers and the private sector competitiveness. This is why whenever they do their campaigns, everybody said that I was the initiator of the program. And this is why at times we are getting resistance, more so the people who are residing here. Actually, we are unable that we are squatters here. They have not even bothered to give us water that anytime they are going to chase us. So it has black ambassadors with the residents, because the office of ECHO ensured they interviewed the chiefs to allocate the places here. So it has surprised, whereas we are also the partisans of this country. But it's as if whereas we are residing to the government's land, we are segregated. This is why we are cautioning to the government. If I thought they are going to relocate us, then they have to compensate us, because we are also the partisans of this country.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to applaud you for having this in the field. And I wish this People's Parliament had rules and regulations which would have moved the motion. You know, as we are here, people with this board language, the English, some people are summarily down painfully because they are not taking our words. But I would like, Madam Speaker, to know that this project was way back a half a century and 5 years. And its target group was top Nabuea. But here, as a concerned citizen and as a leader, as we are moving, those people are not even expecting. So I wanted to ask the project manager, because this project initially, when he still at Mbale with my chairman, it was at a cost of 3 billion. But its main target was where? Nabuea. Now it came because we had included the hospital and the other areas. It came to that much. 22 what? Billion. But there is no sign of water
Going to Nabweya.
Going to Nabweya. And there we need the ministry.
But I remember I have seen a tank up there.
It is at Burua and here. But we want it extremely so that when we leave these offices with my dear chairman here, they will say during the time that we were there, the water reached the intended what?
Somebody wants to give you information on it.
I am well informed, Madam Speaker, and that is my humble submission.
He doesn't want information. Please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Geoffrey Natubu. I am the District Speaker of Bududa. I thank you all for coming. Madam Speaker, I have about 2 issues. One is to thank the President of Uganda for giving people of Bududa, and especially
Speak closer to the microphone.
This water, gravity flow water. I am trying to speak on behalf of my old Mzee Inahwasha, who was not able to speak in the local language.
Okay.
But he has expressed his feelings that this forum should address them. One is that to the project manager, Mr. Engineer Watenga, water was targeting in a way where this Mzee comes from, and it tells me few households have been connected, and those who have been connected, water is not there. That is their major concern, because it is useless to have the connection is made at homes and no water is flowing.
How many people are connected in Nabweya? Nkaga, 60 people. Okay, 60. Thank you. About 60
on top
people.
of Nabweya. Okay. So that's their concern. He also goes ahead and says, since the target is Nabweya here, it makes no sense for us to connect the lower part of Bududa
and
up to 100% when the highest peak of the hill has not been connected. So the appeal in this forum is that those ones who are responsible and concerned must make and put an effort to connect the biggest part of the whole Nabweya hill so that the target shall be achieved.
Okay.
Lastly, is my concern also, because I sit and I relate with people, the concern is about the monies that have been collected. The 50,000 money that has been collected to the tune of 8 million, like the chairman has already alluded, out of that, it's about 50 million has been recovered. Now, where is the 30 million? The 30 million was collected from among the households. Those are the same households who are making noise, they want to be connected, and the money is not seen. So, if this is a situation, how are we sure that the 30 million will be recovered? Why don't you recommend in this meeting that the perpetrators, those who are responsible in as far as the collections were concerned, can't we task them, since we have the RDC here, we have the district chairman, we have the CAO, and all the security organs, recommend that those who are responsible produce the money and they benefit from what they paid, and they get connected and get to benefit from the water and the Nabweya gravity flow scheme.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable. Project manager, what is the problem?
Madam Speaker, allow me.
By the way, the president has the people. If he's not around, he watches People's Parliament. He's the initiator of this project, and he's here. He will be watching. Please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to commit on behalf of the ministry that whoever has been paid for is going to get the service.
When?
We have given our contractors, okay, as I said that the project ended in December for phase 1 and January for phase 2. But we have what we call, we gave an extension to enable mainly connections to be done. And we have given deadlines up to December to have the 2,000 target made. What's happening now is that, first of all, there's money, as the chairman mentioned, there is money which has not reached the account, the 50,000. And we are under pressure to balance, because there must be accountability. Yes, government is paying fully for the other, the 450 that I mentioned. But where is the 50,000? It must be seen, and we must be seen to be balancing between that. Now, of course, unfortunately, there are a number of factors that people are not yet connected. One of them is that some of those that are falling victims because the money has not reached the account. We need to see that money because we must really account for it. It's public money.
Okay.
It's winter money.
Okay.
We must see that. The other ones are technical, madam. And the technical ones, let's talk of Nabweya Hill. We have explained this from time to time, especially with our senior elder here, that water couldn't reach the top of the hill by gravity. This is a gravity scheme. There are very high pressures in the system, but they couldn't still deliver water to the top of the hill. So we incorporated a pumping scheme, which is at Bulwande. All of us here, if we went out, we can see where the pump station is. Now from there, water is pumped up to the top of the hill. The constraint we have is that that pump station currently is being operated by a generator, a diesel-powered generator. Now, the resources for that generator are going to come from the people who are consuming the water, okay? But we said we are just beginning, and when we begin, let's put in some seed money. Let's at least let the umbrella, the organization is managing, let's put there some diesel so that the people can get the water, then they pay. Some of those resources are supposed to come from that 50,000 shillings, which we are not accessing. But technically, I can guarantee, Madam Speaker, that whoever has got a receipt is going to be connected. Actually, we have the capacity to connect more. We are feeding in also some gadgets which enable water to balance out and reach all corners, because the terrain here... But
where is this money being held from, Mr. RDC? Where the money people have paid the money, is it still on the way moving through mobile money or what?
Madam Speaker, the 22 billion Nabweya gravity flow scheme was a presidential pledge, and government has done its part. Money was paid, but now the connection fees, the ministry required the district authorities to collect the money, particularly the 6 focus sub-counties. I want to say, Madam Speaker, when we petitioned the ministry as a district security committee for the delays, because the president has already committed himself to come and commission this project. When this security committee tasked the ministry and we had an engagement meeting, the ministry demonstrated to us that it is the district that had the challenge. It's now 1 month. We tasked the chief administrative officer to ensure that the 6 accounting officers who collected the money paid the money on the general account. In fact, we also opened up an investigation. We gave them the deadline for payment today. Through you, Madam Speaker, may I therefore ask the indulgence of the chief administrative officer to inform this honorable parliament
how far he has reached,
how much is on the account as of today.
Ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. Incidentally, as the chairperson was referring to the district water officer, he has been around. I'm not seeing him. Is the engineer around? Yeah, because this is a technical service issue in the office of district water department. Now, since the district engineer is around and the accountant in that sector, they are the people dealing with the issues of the finances, I will ask him to come here and give us a position about the status of the collection.
Thank you, Carl. You know, issues of money are issues of money. The DPC is asking the cow to give accountability of how far he has reached in collecting this money. I'm told it's supposed to be 80 million shillings, but so far 50 million has been collected, is on the official account. But 30 million is still in the pipeline, moving slowly, moving slowly. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, the district engineer is going to tell us the answer. Welcome back. You are still watching your favorite program, NTV People's Parliament, the only platform that gives you opportunity to speak about issues that affect your everyday life. The people of Bududa are speaking about Bududa Nabweya Gravity Flow Scheme, the scheme that will enable them to get water about their problems. They're supposed to contribute 50,000 shillings to get connected. But according to the leaders of Bududa, money is being lost somewhere. And the chief administrative officer has also taken the powers of the speaker to summon the chief engineer to tell us where the money is.
Madam Honorable Speaker, I'm Bukoma Issa. The money on the account now is 53.6 million.
53.6.
53.6 million. We expect 80 million because, like the chairman said, there are 1,600 people who have paid money. The only challenge is some have part paid. 50, when you pay full is when it becomes 80 million. But we expect money from the chief of, I think, Urucheke, Bushiyi, Buchigai, Bududa Town Council, Nabweya, and Bushiri.
So there are people who have partly paid the money.
Yes.
And when you pay half, you cannot access the receipt.
No, at the time of payment, there was a scramble. So there are those who were paying 20 and were being given the receipt. Given a receipt.
So where is the problem?
So we are saying that our people, the food soldiers who collected the money, are depositing money on every business. I mean, money is being collected. That will not be a hindrance for people getting connected. Because the money is deposited in a bank, nobody withdraws it. It is a fixed deposit account. And whatever money is being collected, we are supposed to wire it to the Eastern Umbrella that is trying to carry out operational maintenance of the scheme.
So how many chiefs are they?
The sub-counties are 6, including a town council.
5 sub-counties?
Yes.
So where are the chiefs?
And as far as I'm concerned, Ulucheke sub-county is okay. I think
which sub-county is okay?
Ulucheke has cleared.
Ulucheke sub-county is okay?
Is okay.
My chief, you have already cleared. Thank you, my chief. Clap for him. Another sub-county
Bushiyi sub-county is left by only 400,000. They have struggled. The other sub-counties of Nabweya, Bududa Town Council, and Buchigai are the biggest culprits, especially Buchigai sub-county.
My friend of Buchigai, are you around?
This one, the town clerk of Buchigai Town Council. I've been in Buchigai for 1 full year. The issues of Nabweya began some time. I have a list of 200 people who say they are paid up, but I see few who are fully paid.
How many?
Like around 50 who are fully paid. There are those who have paid 10,000. There are those who have paid 20,000. There are even those who have paid 15,000. So we have seen those challenges with the collections. But as an accounting officer, I'm assuring you by the end of, just give me 2 weeks, we shall have already made the officer has made the report. We shall find out where the money is, the balances.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The good thing is that my chiefs have not denied that they have collected the money. Some of them have paid half, they're still collecting, and he has assured us that the money will be on the account. Yes, Chairman, what are you saying?
When people don't get services, they criticize who? They criticize the leadership and the government. I think you people have been criticizing the government. You are realizing where our problems are coming from. We have been demanding for this money since the beginning of this year. It has not just come in yesterday. We have put their deadlines until deadlines have become dead. We have tried our level best to ensure that in a peaceful way, money is deposited on the accounts. Now, I am being informed that another 2 weeks should be provided to die. We shall take it as leaders. But I want to warn that after the deadline of 2 weeks, which you yourselves are pledging, we must not bring in any excuses, and we must not criticize and condemn the actions which shall be taken thereafter.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. People still have issues.
My speaker officially said, Luchisu over Luganda.
Ramaluchisu Mudakendwell.
If a friend Labachi guy over Bududa, Baba Yana, you can't think of how the president where the community can in a Hunaway. We are looking in a way, no for a whole route and be Rumo, Gagameti Mahota. Mubakisumosi, now we guy near for a whole movie Mumesi, Governor Bushiribo, Bunabuya, Buchiga, Ukuleta Buchiga, near Murian. Nea Narisha Sanavi, Bari Banya, Wagamizba, Hola Kamisinga, Inginian Aramis. Nishi Holoni, Kamape Saba Sasura, Mitra Kirano, Sasura. We were about a sheet of Sasurata. Near Kamesika Shiro, the pipe put the sheet of the Homidian Chaweta. I remember Maui and Abba and people in the pipe coming in Bamata. Hunaway Tangate, coming in Baman Harita. Anna Hunana, Yubuan, idiot Tangati. Coming in Bamata, coming to Makati Bududa.
Okay, Muzei, Bauli the problem yo, engineer of Kirisar, coming in Bukas and Akari holds. Buanga for Malo Kamets. Muzei has a concern, a very big concern, but the project managers assured us that you will get water by within no time. Yes. Speaker, in 1 minute, Honorable Member.
As a representative for people with disability, I feel so bad to see that the water is not at Nabuya. And the problem is that the chiefs went on collecting money, even where they have not directed them to collect that the pipes have passed. Around Makuma there, they have collected money, and the people are saying that where are the pipes? Up to now, the pipes have not been laid. And then another thing is that the most vulnerable group, which suffer a lot, are people with disabilities up there at Nabuya. How do you expect a person with disability to crawl down, carrying water and then up? You will expect him or her to sleep even 2 nights without bathing. So we need the government to pull up. And then in phase 2, they say that they will provide electrical grid. Up to now, there's nothing has been done. Maybe the project coordinator could give this audience how the grid of that project has reached.
The representative of the district, electricity was promised.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That is a point that is well taken. We are blessed that the Honorable Minister of Energy is in this region. We have taken it up, and we are going to handle it expeditiously.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we are blessed by the whole of this project that the people of Rwanda, who are the neighbors of the pumping station, are blessed. The whole project has that component of extending power to the pumping station. And since the engineer is here, he must give us as to when the provisions of extension of power is going to take place. But otherwise, it is within, I mean, the project manager. Otherwise, the project itself, the component of extending power to that station is there.
Project manager, please come and wind up in 2 minutes.
We have resources for extending power to the pumping station.
And when will it be done? And
it is in the 3rd phase, which I said is going to begin in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks' time, we should expect that. But we are also, as the RDC has mentioned, we have also applied, we earlier on applied to the Rural Electrification Agency. And for us, we are flexible. Where we shall achieve it first, we shall move. We have the resources, yes. But if the free one is there, we shall use those resources to convert that to more people getting access to water.
Okay, project manager. Now, when the 30%, when the 30 million shillings are on the account, when are these people who have taps in their compound get water?
Okay, Madam Speaker, they will get water immediately. Why do I say immediately? We have a yard where anyone can come and witness that all the materials for connecting those people are in that yard.
The information I want to give the engineers that I happen to be one of those people who have the tap stand and the pipe has passed even in my compound. But when I reached the Bududa Town Council water offices, they say that they are not able to connect on this line. Which line again will they connect me? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it is true that in some homes, the connections were made, but the linkage to the main is not yet done. Now, the link to the main because there are some, this is a bit technical, but allow me.
I'm sure you have received 50 million contribution from the people. Are all of them connected?
Okay.
Those ones who have fully paid, are they connected?
Let me give a statistic here. Can I, Madam Speaker? We have 986 homes fully connected. We have 209 which are partially connected. Partially connected is what I'm explaining, like the Honorable's case. He has some installation made, but it's not complete to enable water access the home. And maybe because of there's a meter which is not yet installed, there is a connecting pipe which is not yet connected. But what I'm assuring is that these 209, the materials are in store in the contractor's yard. Now, there are 504 who have paid, they have receipts, but they are not yet connected. Now, these 504, part of the reason is, of course, we are matching the accountability. We don't see that some of that money on the account yet, and yet we are supposed to make it match it. So we don't see that yet. But also, some of them, the materials are still there waiting.
This lady has a burning issue. What is it, Mama? You already told, by the way, she told us that she paid 80,000.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to explain her situation too, which she mentioned earlier on. Through you, Madam Speaker, let me assert the government policy. It is 50,000 if you are in a supply area, if you are within the supply area. And if you are not within the supply area and there is requirement for you to pay extra for that, there's a team which does that assessment, and that's provided for in the water statute here.
You pay the 30,000.
You pay the extra. Madam Speaker, I think that the lady should approach the office. There is an office which is doing that. And we have warned the contractor staff that should you charge extra money without being authorized, you stand to be arrested. We have up to December to reach a target of 2,000. So if also you have not paid, you pay. This is the message, Madam.
So by December, all the 20,000 people will be connected.
Yes, Madam.
We thank government for this project, and let's hope by December everybody who has paid shall have water in their compound. Thank you for watching NTV People's Parliament sitting here in Bududa. We have come to the end of this show. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adjourn this house until next week.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.